TJ here for another segment of Michigan Conservative Roundtable. Thanks everyone for your support. At the time of this recording, we are at 724 subscribers. Please like and share if whatever platform you're on will allow you. I don't know if you want to risk getting in jail or tossed. I suppose each person has to make their own decision in that regard. That's a whole nother segment. So it begins with President Trump. He declares war. Declares war on the RINOs. Declares war on the gutless. He's firing politically on full auto. And he's being relentless in his actions. The easy ones that come to mind right off the bat, Nikki Haley, Mitch McConnell, those are the easy. There's others, but those are the ones that right off the bat come to mind, speaking out of both sides of their mouth. First faulting him for the D.C. riots, then trying to cozy up to him, or as in Mitch McConnell's case, if Trump is the Republican candidate, of course he'd support him, and blah, blah, blah. Nikki Haley tried to have a sit-down meeting with Trump, and Trump said, go away. She had it coming. And in regards to Mitch McConnell, Trump took that state by 67%, 67, almost 68% of the vote. Trump took Kentucky. And, Kentucky's the Kentucky residents are pretty ticked at Mitch McConnell. You got the Nelson County. Nelson County sent a letter to Mitch McConnell calling on him to resign. So, and there's rumors that he may do exactly that. I don't know. The problem is, if he resigns right now today, we could end up with a Democrat senator, and there goes the 50-50 for sure. But that's as I like to say, that's the political pickle we find ourselves in. A week ago, President Trump spoke at CPAC. He mentioned all Republicans by name, both in the House of Representatives and the Senate, that voted with the Democrats to impeach or convict. He's coming after him. He's coming after him politically. Okay? And right off the bat, just yesterday I read a report how he will actively seek to defeat Lisa Murkowski in the primary in Alaska. And this is what he said: I will not be endorsing, under any circumstances, the failed candidate from the great state of Alaska, Lisa Murkowski. She represents her state badly and her country even worse. I do not know where other people will be next year, but I know where I will be, in Alaska, campaigning against a disloyal and very bad senator, so says President Trump. You know what? The guy keeps his word. This is probably going to happen. President Trump has sent a cease and desist letter to 3 major Republican groups: RNC, NRCC, NRSC, and he's unhappy with them because these groups, in general, support the Republican candidates. They seek donations and then kind of support Republican candidates, and it's kind of a blanket endorsement support type of thing, which includes the ones that voted with the Democrats. So President Trump has said, okay, if that's what you're going to do not use my name when you're looking for money. And there's legal ramifications if they do not abide by his cease and desist letter. So, and we know for a fact our YouTube associate Kim has in fact received some of these phone calls. I think she said it in a video, and she's told Mac and me, and as we meet and discuss topics, she's told us repeatedly how she's receiving these phone calls. Okay? So, President Trump has told them to stop. Finally, what I want to talk about is a March 4th press release of President Trump, and it is directed to Karl Rove himself. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but I am going to hit portions of it. This came out March 4th, 2021, directed to Karl Rove. At the top, you got the Save America President Donald J. Trump, okay? And Karl Rove, He's he calls Karl Rove a RINO of the highest order. You know what? He sure is. And then he says something I was totally unaware of. On election evening, November 3rd at 10:30 p.m., Rove called to congratulate me on a great win. I said, thank you, Karl. And I'm not going to read the rest of it because the video will get pulled, but he goes on to reference the electoral anomalies that we've all witnessed. You know, if I read it, this video is going to get pulled. Okay? He says Rove hasn't helped Fox ratings. About almost halfway down, he calls Karl Rove a pompous fool with bad advice and always has an agenda. You know what? Yeah, I'm going to agree with that. Okay, then the next paragraph. If the Republican Party is going to be successful, they are going to have to stop dealing with the likes of Karl Rove and just let him float away or retire like little Bob Corker or Jeff Flaky Flake and others like Toomey of Pennsylvania who will soon follow. Let's see what happens to Liz Cheney in Wyoming. And speaking of Toomey, remember, he just ignored what happened in his own state. He just closed his eyes to what happened in his home state. And I talked about that in a previous video. And towards the end of the press release, there's a paragraph here where he just kind of paraphrases how the House of Representatives, the Republicans gained 15 seats this last election. Gained 15 seats. You got all these Republican Congress people. They're running for either election or re-election, and they're hanging on. They're hanging on to his coattails, and we gained 15 seats. This is why I cannot accept the electoral anomalies. I'm telling you, I won't. I never will. When you look and see what happened in the House of Representatives, no. Almost toward the end, he references 31 people either watched or listened to his CPAC speech. I talked about that in a previous video, given all the sources, online sources, news agencies. YouTube has scrubbed his CPAC speech video because of the way he referenced the electoral anomalies. YouTube scrubbed his video. Oh, and my cat just knocked some stuff down. Okay, towards the end, and for those who are still hanging tough, thanks for hanging in there, guys. I'm going to end with this. Fox should get rid of Karl Rove and his ridiculous whiteboard as soon as possible. So says President Donald Trump, March 4th, 2021. And before my cat rains something else down on me, I'm going to end with, that's it, gear up. As always, stay safe, watch your six, and don't tread on me.